All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, this morning, is dealing with the book of Proverbs 29, towards the last, few verses starting at 23. Now I want to read Proverbs 29 and 23, and it goes into pride ends in humiliation, while humility brings honor, and as we speak about the wisdom, okay, of the Heavenly Father, the wisdom of the scriptures, most people, automatically think of the deep, mysteries and the breakdowns and the parables and interpreting the dark sayings, which that's a part of it. All right. But there's great wisdom in just understanding humility. Humility goes a long way, because as the Apostle Paul says, pride can puff it up. And when it's like your knowledge can puff it up. So knowing the knowledge of wisdom can create pride. So if you have this wisdom without the knowledge and understanding of humility, the necessity of humility, then you really don't have true wisdom, because you can go into, all these different things and expound and break down and, all these points and okay. But if we don't understand the necessity of wisdom, then we truly don't have, the necessity of humility, and we don't have true wisdom. Okay, so understanding the necessity of wisdom goes a long way. Okay, and that's a major part of wisdom. That's the anchor to the wisdom that we have is humility, man. Okay, because humility keeps us within the guardrails of the fear of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Pride, because when pride comes in, what people begin to think more of themselves than what they are. They begin to disregard the fear of the Lord and they become reckless. Okay? And this is why we see the Lord has allowed Esau, to just go unchecked because he wants this nigga pride out the chain right before he's judged. Okay? Because Esau is operating in pure pride. All logic is going out the window. Esau is operating in pure pride at this point. Okay? And if you're following this man in any capacity, okay, you're following this man to the destruction that the Lord has set up for him, man. Okay? So when you read the book of Proverbs 23, it's like Proverbs chapter 29, verse 23, pride ends in humiliation, while humility brings honor. Humility brings honor, man. And that's who the Lord is dealing with, and that's who's finna rule the earth, those who have been humbled by this word. Okay? Because it's not just regular humility, have been humbled according to this word. Okay, humbled to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Okay, so we read on, it says, if you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. Okay, if you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. You are sworn to tell the truth, but you dare not testify, man. And you get this see here. You're in agreement with the devil. If you're worshiping the beast, which is going to lead you to take the sea hill, you're assisting the thief. Okay? When you a nigga that's living, whether you a Christian, whether you a Republican, whether you a real nigga, street nigga, you're assisting this devil in his wicked agenda. You're a woman that's a feminist or have this rebellious spirit towards men. You're assisting the thief. Okay? And this man wants to take the birthright. He wants to give himself the birthright through his technology. Okay? And part of him getting his birthright back is trying to destroy the tribes, man. So if you this big dope boy that everybody loves, guess what? You're assisting the thief. Okay, you're helping with his chemical warfare on the tribes. You know, and before we came into the truth, we was assisting the thief. You know, but now that the Lord has awakened us, you know, and brought us into the light, humbled us down. You know, we had to become, as the scripture says, little children. You know, born again. We had to really humble down and learn everything over. Okay, and humility is a foundation of us learning everything over, man. We had to humble down till we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't have it figured out. We had to humble down to that point before the Lord even began to deal with us, man. Okay, but we was in the world, we was assisting the thief, you know? But now we switch sides to Yahushua. Now we're assisting Yahushua, you know, through pushing his word, the way we live, you know, being a good brother, being that example, that representation of the Lord's wisdom. Now we're assisting Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. We're no more assisting the thief Esau Edom. Okay, this man wants to steal the birthright. He wants the most high seat. Okay, Esau's going for it all, man. Okay, and if you're participating and living out one of his philosophies, and if you ultimately get that C hip, you're assisting the thief in this rebellion, man. Okay, and the Lord's going to hold you accountable for that. It says, if you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. You are sworn to tell the truth, but you dare not testify, man. Because even going back, you know, into our law, man, if you seen the crime, you had to speak on it. Okay? If you seen, you know, wickedness, okay, if you was an eyewitness to wickedness, you had to testify. Okay? So the Lord has made the prophets his eyewitnesses just testifying against this devil, man. Okay, because we're seeing the continual wickedness of this man. Okay, and the Lord has it to where everything has been put out in the open, man. A lot of information has been coming out about this devil wickedness, man. How this man runs the earth, his history, you know, the things he got in place now, and what he plans on doing is all wicked, man. And the Lord has awakened the prophets to testify against this nigga, man. Okay, even as a woman, because it's not, you know, your role to testify. That's for men to, you know, to speak and to testify. Okay, but getting back in order as a woman, there's you testifying that that nigga, what he told y'all to be as women is wicked. So you getting back in order as a woman, okay? There's you witnessing that the way that this nigga taught you to be is off, man. You know, the way he told you to be, that's off. Okay? So the Lord has put his men on the front line to testify against the devil, man. That's our duty, man. As judges, as priests, okay? As prophets, man, that's our office to testify against this nigga, man. To testify against wrongdoing. Okay? Let me see. See if I can pull it up real quick. Mm. See, this is a law in the Bible. Okay, it's a law in the Bible that makes it mandatory. To speak up on witness wrongdoings. I believe it's in Numbers. Okay, yeah, it's Leviticus 5:1. Okay, it says yes, the Bible. It says yes, the Bible contains laws and principles that make it mandatory to speak up regarding witness sin. All right, and when we're seeing the man of sin, trying to replace the Most High with technology. And we see the standard in which he runs the earth, man, is a complete wickedness, man. Okay, so as Israelites, okay, us being the children of Yahweh Bashim Shai, it's our duty to testify against this nigga, man. Okay? So it says Leviticus 5:1 specifically dictates that if a person witness a sin, fails to report it after a public summons to testify, all right, they bear the guilt of their iniquity. Okay? So when you go here, let's get that in the book of Leviticus. So you go to the book of Leviticus, so let's get the book of Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, and if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he have seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity, man. So if you see adultery, if you see a thief, okay, if you see a murderer, okay, and you was a witness to these things and you didn't speak on it, well, you was guilty with whatever they did. So if you seen something worthy of death and you didn't speak on it, you will receive death. Okay? If you see something, if you seen something that, that require lashes, someone to get, 40 stripes minus one, all right, those 39 lashes, and you didn't speak on it, well, you will get those 39 lashes as well. Okay? So, as we, because earth is a big courtroom, and Esau Edom is on trial. Okay? And we're witnessing all the wickedness that this nigga is doing real time, and we're being commanded to testify against this nigga, man. Okay? So, all Israelites is not testifying against Esau Edom. Okay, you're going to be held with that same judgment. That's why you're going to get caught up in this third world's war. You're going to get caught up in the famines. You're going to get caught up in the nuclear destruction. Okay, you're going to receive the punishment that the Lord bringing to Esau. Okay, because you didn't speak up, you didn't testify, you seen all the wickedness of this nigga, man. Okay, so let's go back to Proverbs. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29. All right, verse 24 again, it says, if you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. You are sworn to tell the truth, but you dare not testify. Fearing people is a dangerous trap, and there's one thing Esau has instilled in the earth, people to fear him. Okay, people look at, losing a job as, the end of the world. Okay, people look at, um, you know, they look at America not being up and going. They fear that. There's a lot of people fear that. A lot of people fear, this system not continuing on, because Esau has pushed that this is a system of security, and it's the only system that people know. And that's another beautiful thing about faith. It makes us visionaries till we see a world beyond this. We don't fear America being destroyed. That's why a lot of people shy away from the truth, because they can't see, life outside of America, life outside of this current modern, system being up and functioning, man. People have a fear of loss in this world. You see, the truth takes that fear away from us, man. And we fear our power. We fear the judgment of our power. We fear disappointing our power, man. Not being pleasing to our power, man. Okay? And we understand that Esau, he's not the last authority in existence, man. People move as if Esau is the most high. People fear this man, this system, you know. They fear like life don't exist without this nigga, man. Comfort don't exist without this nigga, man. Okay? Because this man has done so much psychological warfare on the minds of the people. Okay? That they think that, they owe all their daily convenience to the so-called white man. Okay? And they look at him as this great inventor, this great scientist, this great doctor, this great. So they look at life without him as just emptiness, man. That's a lot of people fear. Okay? And that's a trap. All right? If you fear Esau, then you fall right into his trap. He has all the leverage on you, man. Okay? That's why it says fearing people is a dangerous trap. But trusting in the Lord means safety, man. True safety comes from Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. True abundance. True prosperity comes from Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. The so-called white man, Esau Edom, he's the opposite, man. He's the exact opposite of peace. He's the exact opposite of prosperity. He's the exact opposite of you being able to enjoy the earth, enjoy your family. Okay? When Esau was removed, we're going to be immortals. As Esau is being taken down, we're going to be changed to immortals, man. Esau was in the way. You see, as we, come into this faith, not only do we despise this current world, we know that Esau Edom is in the way, man. Okay? This nigga rulership is in the way of true peace and true life. Okay? The earth to be restored back to its strength, man. This nigga is in the way. Okay? And we don't fear, the Lord put the spirit, may the Lord keep that spirit on us, man, that where we don't fear, okay, this nigga threats, man. It's a lot of people, they gonna take the sea hill based off a news report if they can't buy or sell. A lot of people gonna bend the knee and take that sea hill based off one news report of not being able to buy and sell, man, because they fear Esau Edom and his threats. Okay? Your job is transferring over to, this digital system, and now it takes a sea hill to clock in. Well, a lot of people are going to bend the knee, man, because they don't see life, especially how scarcity, jobs have gotten lately. Okay? When it's a mandate to take this device or lose your job, a lot of people are going to move in fear, and that's going to be the trap. And Esau knows, okay, the power, okay, of fear. That's why he has that factored into the trap. Okay? We're just going to entrap a lot of people, man. And it says, fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trusting in the Lord means safety, man. Because, see, the Lord can save us from Esau. Esau can't save nobody from the Lord, from the judgment of the Lord. You take that sea hill, that's not a guarantee that you're not going to starve. That's still up to the Most High. Esau, he doesn't, just because he gives you this sea hill, that doesn't mean that you're exempt from judgment. Okay? You see, the Most High can save us from everything. That's true safety. Okay? That's true safety. We serve a power that can save us and deliver us from everything. Okay? Esau is extremely limited, man. Esau can't save, all right, anyone from the judgment of the Most High, man. Okay? And people are going to find out the hard way. It says, many seek the ruler's favor, but justice comes from the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. And also, true justice comes from Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. So we seek the favor of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, not the favor of Esau Edom. You niggas finna bend the knee, okay, and think that you're going to get some type of favor from the devil, okay, but you're going to become an enemy of the Lord, okay, and I'd rather be an enemy to Esau and in favor with the Lord, okay, than be in favor with Esau and be an enemy to the Lord, man. You niggas that sold out, okay, because Esau favor ain't even real favor. Okay, Esau just use you for the moment he needs to use you in, and he disposed you his damn self. Especially, all right, dealing with Israelites, man. You see how he do these other nations, man, and he do Israel the worse. Okay, and you dumb, stupid, smart niggas sold out to the devil as if that was some type of, guaranteed favor. Okay, so you put yourself, you call yourself putting yourself in a good standings with Esau, but an enemy to Yahweh Bashim Shai. That's the dumbest trade off you can do. As an Israelite, that's the dumbest trade off you can do, to cooperate with the devil by being a sellout. You false prophet niggas, man. Okay, and to fall out with Yahweh Bashim Shai, to become deemed the enemy of the Lord, man. Okay, so um, let's see. Let's go here in Isaiah. Let's get this book of Isaiah, chapter 8. Isaiah 8 and 11 said, "For the Lord spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying," all right, and it's the way of 2/3 and our people that trust in Esau in this system, man. Okay? It said, "For the Lord spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of the people, saying, a confederacy, which is an alliance, to all them to whom this people shall say a confederacy." And these people have made a confederacy or an alliance with Esau Edom. Okay? You continue to worship the image of the beast. Okay, you continue to live, and your belief system is based on philosophies of this beast system. Okay, whether it's the economy, whether it's the politicals, okay, whether it's the degeneracy, whatever you trust in within this beast system. Okay, that's what you worship. Whatever you live by, whatever you give your energy to, because everyone has some type of belief system. Okay, and it's going to show during the time or the hour of temptation, man. And the majority of our people, they're already in confederacy with the devil, in alliance with the devil. So the Most High tell us, look, don't make an alliance with who they make an alliance with. Okay, verse 13, it says, I'm gonna read this in the NLT. It said, "Make the Lord of heaven's armies holy in your life. He is the one you should fear. He is the one, all right, who should make you tremble, man." So we're proclaiming our alliance not only verbally but through our actions as we live according to this word to the best of our ability, man. That's us pledging our alliance to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, man. Separating ourselves unto Him. You know, the Lord put the Spirit on us to separate ourselves to Himself, man. Separate us from this world and unto Him, man. He had the elect are being set to the side for deliverance, man. Making an alliance with their power. Okay? And He says, He will keep you safe, but to Israel and Judah, He will be a stone that makes people stumble, a rock that makes them fall, and the people of Jerusalem, all right, and for the people of Jerusalem, He will be a trap and a snare, man. Okay? So if you reject Yahweh Shai, well, guess what? You make yourself subjugated to the snares of the devil. Okay? You don't make an alliance with Yahweh Bashim Al Shai during this grace period. Okay? Well, guess what? The Lord's going to allow you, okay, to be trapped and ensnared by the devil, man, which is going to lead to the worst judgment the earth has ever seen. You know? So that's the point. Just wanted to get into that. Lord will, you brothers and you sisters edify once again. I'm going to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.